Okay. Next to the zoom level is your status bar. And the status bar tells you what size your document currently is. So being that I just have a blank screen right here, you can see that it says 0 bytes. But if I start adding a bunch of stuff and probably more, oops. Now we can see our file size starting to increase. So you have different ways of being able to look at this. You have document size, document profile, etc. For your beginning work, you are probably not going to pay too much attention to this. Just know that it's there. Up here at the top right, I showed you the help menu where you can find help with things, but this little search magnifying glass allows you to search for tools, tutorials, and Adobe stock content. This one here is a way for you to, another way for you to reset your workspaces. And this one right here is a way to share an image. Now, I want to make sure that you understand this sharing an image is very different than you saving an image. Okay, so if I click on this, I have the ability to, at the moment, save my scribble into Snip and Sketch, which again, I'm not really sure why we would put it in Snip and Sketch, but you can. You also have the ability to save it into Lightroom Photos. If you were connected to Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, which if you're in the classroom or on a desktop, well, I shouldn't even say on a desktop, but if you're in the classroom, you don't have the ability for Bluetooth, but it's something that is available maybe if you're on your own computer. And then, of course, you could add contacts to be able to share with people as well. When you save, though, you are going to do a file save as. Right here, we can check don't show again because we want to save on our computer all the time. And the reason you're not saving to the cloud is simply because when you're done with the class, you don't have access to the cloud. However, you will, as long as you are in LCISD, you'll have access to files on your computer. So we will go to, and I'm going to collapse that quick access, our OneDrive. You can go to your class folder and then Photoshop. Remember that when you save your file with the name of your period number. So if your period number is 1, then you put the number 1. Then you put an underscore. And then you put your last name, underscore, and then whatever the name of the assignment is. So that would be scribble. I want you to see that right here. Here's the file name. Here is the type. If you hold this down, notice you have a long list. Always, 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 first thing you do is save as a Photoshop file. And that's because this is the file that allows you to edit it. Okay, make changes to it. Allows you to keep working on it. Okay. However, when you have completely finished with your project, or when you have to upload upload to Canvas to show me your progress, you will also, after you save as a PSD, you will also save as something else. The more common things that you are going to save as are going to be a JPEG, a GIF file or GIF, and a PNG. Those are your 3 more common files that you will save as. And typically I'm going to say that most of the time it's going to be a JPEG, and you hit save. When you do hit save, it gives you a pop-up, and this is the quality. I would typically put it all the way at large unless your file size is huge. Now, before we log off, I have a couple more things to show you. I want you to notice that on your tools, when you hover over it, it gives you a pop-up. It gives you what's called a tooltip. And this tooltip, notice that it tells you the name of the tool. I also want you to see in parentheses, it gives you a key. That means that that is a keyboard shortcut. So if I hit W on my keyboard, it takes me to that tool, okay? Which is very handy. Now, you also see that there are a lot of tools, not all of them, well, maybe almost all of them, have a little triangle at the bottom right. That little triangle at the bottom right means that there are tools docked with it, hidden underneath it. So they're always related in some form or fashion. So these are all lasso tools. And I know that sometimes, especially as you get started, people are like, oh, I can't find the lasso tool. Well, it's there. Just remember it's with the other lasso tools. Okay? So you'll want to experiment and look and see all of the tools that are docked with it, because there are some good ones. Note here with the gradient tool, that's where the paint bucket is. Okay? And then next thing I would like to do is go to Edit, all the way down, and Preferences, and then go to General. So there are certain things that pop up here. If you ever get rid of your welcome screen or your home screen, you can always go to Preferences and check this again. Okay? You have the ability to change the look of Photoshop to suit you. Okay? I usually keep mine at default. You have different things that you'll want to go through and look at from time to time. Okay? So it's all there. One of the things I want to point out, though, is scratch disks. As you are creating big files, one thing that's common is that students accidentally put inches instead of pixels. And you'll learn later, if you don't know already, what the difference is. But what that does is it fills up the scratch disks and doesn't save. And that's because your file is too huge for the computer to manage. So I'm going to close out of that, and notice that you have this tab here. This tab simply tells you the name of the file. At the moment, I didn't save it, so it says untitled. I can have multiple ones open so that I can toggle between them, whether they are new ones or whether they are images.